Okay, a few news stories that we want to catch your opinions on this morning. Harry Maguire, did you see this one? He was booed by Manchester United fans. It was a 3-1 win over Crystal Palace in their friendly. They're out in Melbourne at the moment. Stuart Pearce was on Drive last night and he said this about the situation.
I've been at Wembley when there was, suggestion that was the case as well. I'm quite astounded. I personally think that, I capped him as an under-21 player, so I know him not particularly well as a youngster, but I know him and I know he's a good kid, and when I've been on the road with talkSPORT covering England games and his family are there and they're staunch supporters of him and England, and I find it quite sad, really. I think what's happened is a very, very small minority have started this, the media have picked up on it, and all of a sudden it just seems to have grown legs a little bit. I find it quite sad, really. I'm not sure that some of the people that are booing Harry Maguire really understand why they're booing him, to be honest with you. I think a little bit of it is it's happened. Everyone boos Harry Maguire, so I'm going to join in as well.
Okay, there you go. Stuart Pearce, lovely to hear him on Drive last night.
Yeah.
He was funny, actually. He was really great, him and Andy Goldstein, talking about what makes a club world class. And they came to the conclusion that Stuart Pearce had started with, which is it's a rubbish argument. It's a redundant argument. There's too many variables. Difficult to say. But it was a really good discussion. But let's talk about Harry Maguire, shall we? And because this is really disappointing for the majority of the fan base and the Manchester United fan base. But you are going to have people, like I saw this morning on Twitter, saying, look, he was a disgrace all of last season. We deserve to boo him. Gabby, do fans deserve to boo players? Or actually, maybe the better question is, does Harry Maguire deserve to be booed like that?
I don't think so, no. And this is the problem with some fan bases. And it's not a lot of Man United fans. It's some of them, some of them can be sheep. Jump on the bandwagon of social media, see that Harry Maguire's getting booed in the game. Let's all jump on the bandwagon. Let's not even watch what he's doing good in the game or how good he's defending. Let's just boo him. And, I actually feel sorry for Harry Maguire. Start of a new season, wants to start pre-season off, trying his hardest, club captain, and you've got fans booing you. So I think it's only a small portion of fans who, majority of them, like I said, just being sheep, jumping on the bandwagon, and hopefully he can start the season off in his best form, and I think them boos will go away. But horrible to hear, and it's just social media nowadays, I feel.
Yeah, do you know what? There was, I wish I could remember who told me this, but it really sunk in. It was somebody I know that was talking about their son saying, and it was a young son, maybe like a 7-year-old, and they said, Harry Maguire, Harry Maguire's rubbish. And the dad went, what? Yeah. Why are you saying that? And he was like, well, that's what they say, isn't it? As in on social media, that's what they say. This is a 7-year-old. I don't know why a 7-year-old's on social media, but this is how it gets filtered down. It becomes the narrative, doesn't it, for the younger generation who might not even be watching the game with an eye like everybody else watches it.
Would you? You're 100% right. Taking it to an extreme though, basically countries can get brainwashed by what they're told and by the media and the press, right? They can, whether we like it or not. Countries, people, individuals within countries can get brainwashed. So what's not to accept about younger kids looking at things on social media and saying, well, that must be right? Because A, they're probably not mature enough to make up their own mind, but if it's the same old story. If you tell somebody something enough, they'll believe it.
I think as well, Ali, on social media now, there's a lot of people that create clips. So imagine Harry Maguire's 15 worst clips from the last 2 seasons. They create into a video, and it gets loads of retweets. I seen one the other day from Núñez. It's pre-season, and he's missing chances, and the clips created. Even Haaland missing a chance in training, and the chances he's missed when he was at Dortmund. So kids will see that, other people will see that, loads of retweets, and that's what people will make their judgment on, not on the 99% good things that Maguire's done in the game.
And the crazy thing is, sadly, there's people would rather put those clips on than the clip of somebody sticking one in the top corner for 20 yards.
Yeah, of course. I think Maguire's just got to just try and block it.
Yeah.
And just start the season in his best form, because I do feel for him in a way, Ali, that it might give the manager a decision if he carries on, and he does start the season off in poor form. But hopefully he can block it all and, keep
the
his
only thing only thing I would say, Gab, the manager must have seen enough of him already, to appoint him as captain, to say, right, well, you're my man, and that is a massive, from Harry Maguire's point of view, that's got to be a massive confidence booster.
Yeah.
Because the other day when he was getting booed, these fans that are booing him are indirectly having a go at the manager, because the manager's made the decision to make him captain. So it's not an ideal start for Harry Maguire or Ten Hag. It's more of a nuisance, I think, than anything else.
I think it can be difficult as well, Ali, because I'll put myself in Harry Maguire's shoes now, and the first game of the season, I think it's Brighton away or Brighton at home. And if someone turns him and gets past him, in his mind he's going to think, oh, someone's going to put that clip up. It's going to be, I'm going to be laughed about. I'm going to get booed again for this. He's got to be really mentally strong.
Is that what players think? And do you think they consider
I don't
that?
think they would do normally. Maybe my era and Ali's era, but this social media era, after a game they're going to look on social media and see, loads of clips of them making mistakes, and especially someone who people are gunning for, like Harry Maguire, so I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I want your thoughts on Martial, Rashford and Sancho, all scoring goals, well-worked goals as well.
Yeah.
Sancho with that one-on-one and a good finish. What did you think of those three? Because you could argue that they've all got a point to prove at Manchester United.
I think they've all got a point to prove, but I wouldn't judge any of it, to be honest, Laura. I've seen players at Aston Villa when I was a player that were, they're like Messi pre-season. Then the first game of the season, they couldn't get a shot off. They were losing the ball every time they got it. When it was a real pressure game, like a Premier League game, they crumbled and they hid from the ball. Pre-season friendlies, everyone's at different stages of fitness. I don't read into any of the results that Manchester United have had, but I do hope that Rashford, Sancho, especially English players, can get back to the form we know that they can achieve and get themselves back into that England squad.
The
one thing I would say on it, Gabby's right, and I've said it for donkeys now. The results in pre-season don't matter. It's all about getting players at a level of fitness that are ready to hit the ground running at the start of the season. The flip side of the coin, you've got to give a balanced opinion, and I'm of the opinion, obviously you're far better having good results in pre-season than bad results. And if Manchester United had really poor results in pre-season, we would be commenting on it and saying this isn't ideal. Ten Hag's, it's taking time. We would in some way have been critical of it, although they don't matter. So, fair play. They look as though they're going about things the right way. There were some good results, but effectively, you're right, Gab. It doesn't matter. It's that opening day of the season that matters.
They all are going to have to, in some way, and then including Harry Maguire as well, because you do have to judge them by their performances last season, and they weren't up to scratch and they weren't good enough. So this season for almost all of those players that you mentioned, it is going to be huge, really. For Harry Maguire, it's going to be huge too, because he's got the faith of the manager for now as his captain. But what happens if... What do you think he's going to do this season, Gabby?
I think Harry Maguire will have a good season. I feel like last season would have been horrible for him, the way he played, the way the whole team played. But as captain, I do really feel he'll step up. Ten Hag's give him the captaincy again. He has to perform, and like you says, a lot of these players have to step up. Van der Beek, Rashford, Sancho. They've all got otherwise Manchester United will fall even lower down the table than they finished last season.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.